Winnipeg, when the dust had finally settled and the interviews were complete, there was the proper mix of silver linings and disappointment. There is no arguing the fact the Winnipeg Jets left a critical point on the table in falling 2-1 in overtime to a depleted San Jose Sharks lineup that was missing 8 players, and head coach Bob Bowner, after 7 of those players joined the bench boss in the NHL's COVID-19 protocol on Saturday afternoon. But for a good chunk of the Conde 14th Street, it was the Sharks who were clearly the hungrier team, even while dealing with some last-minute lineup challenges. That shouldn't happen to a team with lofty expectations, but occasionally it does. Several players were filing it under the lessons to be learned category, and you can understand why that was the approach they were taking. Despite a late goal from Kyle Connor to get the game to overtime, the Jets fell on a goal from Timo Meier that changed direction off defenseman Logan Stanley and snuck past Connor Hellebuyck, who was the only reason his team stole a single point. The first 2 periods are kind of inexcusable, said Jets center Adam Lowry, who didn't mince words. We didn't match their legs. With some of the changes and some of the things we've implemented, we know there is going to need to be growth in our game. There are going to be adjustments, and that's where we're really fortunate to have one of the best goalies in the world. Sometimes, you have guys that can score your way out of some problems. The Jets finished off this 3-game road trip through California by collecting 5 of a possible 6 points and now scored a record of 4-2. None of the past 3 games resemble the template the Jets are looking to lean on, as they chased the game and had to rally from behind in each of them, including a 2 goals in 19-second span from Nikolai Ehlers against the Anaheim Ducks on Tuesday and a 2-goal outburst in the third period against the Los Angeles Kings in a 3-2 win on Thursday. Having the ability to rally is a nice quality to have stored in the toolkit, and as Andrew Kopp pointed out earlier in the week, finding a way to win when a team is not at its best is the hallmark of a good hockey club. But it's not something the Jets want to make a habit of doing. From what I've seen, a lot of it is the start of the game. We've got to start off on the right foot, Jets defenseman Neil Pionk told reporters in California. We've come back and won, which is great. It's a sign of resiliency. It shows that we don't quit. But if we start the game better, the full 60, I know it's cliché, but that's a big theme for us. It's a great thing, being able to salvage a point after playing a game like that. But again, it's not sustainable over 82 games. We know that, and we'll clean it up. For the glass-half-full crowd, the Jets have recorded at least 1 point in 6 consecutive games after opening the season with 2 outright losses. Securing 10 of 12 available points certainly represents an impressive turn of events, even if there have been plenty of wobbly moments to navigate. After opening the season with 6 of 8 games against teams from the Pacific Division, the Jets begin a 7-game homestand on Tuesday night against the Dallas Stars. There will be a heavy dose of games against Central Division opponents, 3 of the next 4 contests, and if the first 2 games against the Minnesota Wild and Nashville Predators are any indication, the intensity level and entertainment value should be on the rise. The Jets are expected to welcome back top center Mark Scheifele on Tuesday after he sat out the past 5 games following a positive but asymptomatic case of COVID-19. Jets captain Blake Wheeler returned to the lineup on Saturday after missing 5 games with his own bout with COVID-19, which included symptoms. Wheeler opened the game on the third line with Lowry and Christian Vesalainen but was eventually bumped up with Paul Stastny and Andrew Kopp, finishing with just over 18 minutes of ice time. Wheeler shared an important revelation with reporters in San Jose after the game relating to the cracked ribs he played through early last season. "That was just a flat-out mistake," said Wheeler. "I should have just taken some time off and healed. That's an injury, kind of like a high ankle sprain, that doesn't really go away. You've got to allow it to heal. You learn a lot. If you play long enough, you learn lessons, and this is one where you don't have a choice. You can't play, you are forced to hang them up for a couple of weeks, and it's tough. It's tough to just sit and do nothing and have to listen and wait until you're ready, and it's kind of like riding a bike. You start with training wheels and then you take those off and you start riding, and pretty soon, you can cruise full speed." So, we're getting back to that point. As for his personal assessment of Saturday's showing, Wheeler was optimistic overall. "Weird experience, you know. I think I've played about 5 or 6 first games this year. It's tough to get into a rhythm, but it was okay," said Wheeler. "You've got to be aware of the fact that this is my first time coming back from COVID, so I just tried to be simple and hard and bring a little energy." With Wheeler and Schieffel set to be in the lineup together for the first time since the second game of the season, all eyes turn to the combinations that will be deployed in Monday's practice. With Ehlers moving to a line with Pierre-Luc Dubois, who extended his point streak to 7 games, and Connor, who delivered his team-leading 7th goal after getting caught in a chase position on the Sharks' opening goal of the game, it's possible Wheeler and Schieffel could reunite and play with Kopp. There's a strong case to be made to keep Dubois and Connor together, even though he's got a long history of production playing alongside Schieffel. "That's a good question," said Maurice, when asked who gets to keep Connor on his left wing. "He's been fairly prolific wherever he's played, so there's the question of balancing things out. That's why keeping Connor with Dubois, even in the short term, makes a lot of sense. The way Ehlers is driving play, this is a great opportunity to play him with Schieffel and see what happens. If it doesn't work immediately, other options are available to explore. With Dubois playing the way that he is right now, it reduces the need to place a heavy burden on Schieffel in his first game back. The third line is still finding its way, but this homestand could also provide the Jets with the opportunity to return to the more traditional use of 12 forwards and 6 defensemen. With 14 games coming up during a 28-day span, the Jets need to find some additional ice time for the fourth line as well. Sure, there have been a few valuable points lost so far, but the Jets also deserve some credit for not unraveling after stumbling slowly out of the gate. By the time this homestand is over, the Jets will be quickly approaching the quarter point of the 82-game season, and many of those building blocks on the road to establishing a true identity should be coming into clearer focus.